One day, you wake up after a crazy night of drinking and have a brilliant idea for your game, so you write it down and go back to sleep. But when you wake up, you find out that you wrote a bunch of unrelated words in a delirium of a mental patient. That's where GDD comes to help. But what the hell is a GDD and how to make it? Hello, my name is Andrei, I'm a game designer and artist. Right now I'm making a game called CatgirlFactory. It's a tactical RPG where you need to build a factory, and by example of this game, I'll show you what's a GDD. Imagine you're that guy from the start of the video. You're also a game designer for a small team. GDD is short for Game Design Document. This is the organized version of that hell's paper that you wrote last night, that you as a game designer need to write to describe mechanics for your game, how they interact and how your game feels and looks, so your team would have a clear idea of what they need to do. Now, how do you write a GDD? GDD consists of multiple parts, so this video will be separated into multiple parts, where I go through every part of the GDD. So you start writing a GDD, and this is the part where you can actually include all that nonsense that you initially came up with, because this is where you write overall idea for your game, how it plays, which mechanics it includes. Also be sure to include your design pillars in there. These pillars should dictate what player is supposed to do in your game, and all aspects of your game should reflect that. For example, main pillars of my game are building, fine-tuning of the units and tactics. You should have from 3 to 5 of these pillars. You can also write something about a story or art style in this part. Now when you made an introduction, it's time to describe your gameplay. Now you need to concentrate all of your brain power and imagination, and finally use it to describe your game flow instead of mooning. Game flow describes how a player will spend some time in your game just to start this cycle all over again. For example, this is how game flow looks in my game. You place resource collecting machines and build your infrastructure around their location, and which catgirls and where you want to get. Then you send them somewhere enemies can be. You find them and give your catgirls orders to defeat them, and then you repeat the cycle over and over again. Right now we described how different mechanics interact with each other. Now we need to describe these mechanics in detail. Mechanics are the rules that describe how player interacts with the game, and how game interacts with them. For example, I have a building mechanic, so I describe that you need money in order to place subjects, and they can be placed only on vacant tiles. You also need to describe controls in this part of the document. Now it's time for the interface. I still place interface in the gameplay section. There's just a lot to discuss. It's not necessary to describe your interface in such detail. This is just a big part of my game, and this is what I normally do. If, for example, story is a big part of your game, you should make story section bigger than normal. To describe your interface, you need to do flowcharts that will show how player navigates around the interface. You can also do mockups of interface in this part. Here's an example of how Catgirl and Catgirl pack menu looks in my GDD. Now it's time for the art style and music. In this part you need to find references for the art style of your game. You can place here screenshots from your favorite games that you think have a fitting style, random images from Pinterest, or screenshots from games that have similar looking gameplay. If you already have concept art, it's great, include it here. Now for the music. Maybe describe genre and instruments, include reference tracks. By the way, this is a little off topic, but I finally understand why people hate Nickelback. It's all fun and games first couple 100 times, but then when you hear Chad Kroeger's voice you don't notice how your legs start carrying you into the mental hospital on their own. This is the part where you write your milestones and when they should be completed. This is a bit obvious, but now that you wrote all you wanted, you need to format your document, so your team or you a couple weeks later wouldn't want to cosplay Kurt Cobain in attempts of finding parts that you're interested in. Remember how I said that this document is separated into different sections? Now you need to separate them into subsections. Here's an example. It's completely up to you how you separate them. Then you need to add a table of contents at the top. In short, to make your GDD, you need to write about your concept, gameplay/mechanics and art style/music. Congratulations, you made your very own GDD. If you like this video or you're interested in game dev, look at my other video, because I have devlog on this channel. Also be sure to subscribe and share this video if you want to support me. Goodbye!